So far we've actually used Nmap inside of metasploit, and that's really good to do some port scannings. And when you've done a port scan, you'll get a list of ports that are back. What we may want to do, though, is we may actually want to check for services across the entire network. So there are some scanners that are built into metasploit, and I can make use of those scanners and find the services that are on the network and maybe do some simple things with them in terms of trying to exploit some vulnerabilities. So right now what I want to do is I want to use the SMB2 scanner. So I'm going to do that. Now I'm going to use that scanner. Now I can just paste it back. It saves me actually having to type it in. So if I take a look at my options, I can do a set rhosts, and now I want to do 172.30.42.0/24. You can see that it will take a CIDR identifier, and this is my CIDR identifier. What this says basically is do everything on the network that has a net mask of 255.255.255.0. So 24 bits of subnet. And now I'm going to run the scanner, and it's actually going to go take a look at all of the hosts on the network and see whether we can come back with anything that is running SMB2. So we're looking basically for systems with a port of 445 open. Now, if I scroll back up here, you can see there are a lot of different services that there are scanners written for. So we can do some SSH login checking. We can do public key login scanner. We can do some SNMP scanning. We can do some domain enumeration and version detection with SMB. We can look for something called Modbus, which is used in SCADA networks. We can do some SIP scanning to see whether there's services out there that are using the session initiation protocol for VoIP or doing video streaming, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of different services that are just built into metasploit where we can do scanning of them and determine whether there are services that are available. If we happen to have a particular exploit in mind, for example, we could do a scan for potentially vulnerable systems and then try to run the exploit against those systems. So you can see at this point that we've scanned about 10% of the network. We've looked at 26 out of 256 hosts, and this is actually going to take some time to run all the way through. But this is how you would do some scanning with metasploit. You would use one of the scanners that are in the auxiliary tree, and you just pick the scanner type that you want, you set the options, and then you just tell it to go run, and it goes off, and it does the scan for you, comes back with the results, and then you can go from there to doing exploits if you've actually got an exploit that you want to run.